Okay, here we go. So let's start in child's pose. And I'm just going to move my screen up so you guys can see me. So we're going to get set up on our mats. And we're just going to do kind of a little warm up towards our downward dog. So depending on how you're feeling, you might be finding that you're in child's pose for a while, or you might be feeling like you want to kind of come right up towards your downward dog. We've got time. So wherever you are, just start to listen for your Ujjayi pranayam. Nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose, though you might need a few sighs just to kind of settle into your practice. And there's sort of a reacquainting with the body that often happens in the first few moments of a yoga practice. So just a little wiggling, a little checking in, deep breathing, sort of feeling for what your energy is doing. And we'll start to make our way up. So maybe through cat and cow. Just inhaling into a little bit of a back bend shape and exhaling to round the spine. But again, I invite you to close your eyes here and just kind of explore for yourself. And the sort of heart of this practice, this energy flow practice, is moving with the breath and sort of entering into a mind state that is centered in the body and in the energy. So we're kind of getting out of our heads a bit. And so paying attention to how the breath and the body move together is one of the most powerful ways to get to that place. So eventually we'll come up into our downward dog. And I've got my hands mats distance apart, baby fingers are just coming off the edges of the mat. And we can bend one knee at a time. Or sway the hips, or be still, right? So we're just feeling into where the breath wants to move in the body. And from here, standing forward fold, making your way up towards the top of your mat and hanging down, or resting elbows on bent knees. And again, this is a nice one for stillness, but it's also a really nice one to move a bit. So bending one knee at a time. Swaying the head, noticing if there's some neck or jaw tension, and just seeing if you can shake that out a little. And then in your own time, rolling up. So if you want to roll up, bend the knees, lean back into the heels, gather in the belly, and let the head and shoulders come up last. You can also come up with a neutral spine if that's better for your back, just walking your hands up your legs, maybe looking forward. Settling into Tadasana, the pose of standing witness, lifting up the toes, spreading them apart, reconnecting them into the earth, and just seeing if you can find your way to standing in a way that feels like you're tall and spacious, but with as little effort as possible. So it's quite soft. Nice deep breaths. And we'll catch the waves of our breath and move into our Surya Namaskar from here. So next time you inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, dive to the earth. Nice generous bend to the knees. Lengthen halfway, inhale. Right foot steps back, knee can come down. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Connect the palms, step back. Come forward to plank. That could certainly be on the knees. And lower all the way down for this first one, hugging elbows in. Point the toes, simple cobra, rolling the shoulders onto the back, lifting the heart. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Right leg rises to the sky, inhaling. You can open the hips if you want. You don't have to here. Step that foot through, however works best for you. Back knee comes down, lift the heart, inhaling. Exhale to the top of the mat, fingertips and feet step forward. Lift the heart, inhale to rise. Exhale to fold all the way forward. Halfway lift, draw the heart up. Left foot steps back. Heart and hands rise, inhale. Exhale to your downward facing dog, High Tessa. Coming forward to plank pose on or off the knees. This time you might do a little push-up, so that could be like a little mini guy, just a small one. And then pulling the heart through the arm bones. And then back to downward facing dog. Left leg rises to the sky. And step the foot through. Back knee comes down, heart and hands rise. Forward fold to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees, rise all the way up. And then hands touch at the heart. Beautiful. Inhale, rising up. We begin again. Exhale, dive. Just really following that breath. There's no rush. Inhale, lengthen. Right foot steps back, high or low lunge, your choice. Nice long inhale, rising up. Beautiful. Downward dog, connect the palms, step back. Plank on or off the knees. Little push up, hugging the elbows in. And then pull through to your up dog, or you could do cobra. Back to down dog from there. Right leg rises. And step through. High or low lunge, inhaling. Forward fold to the top of your mat. Lengthen. And melt. Bend the knees, rise, maybe lean back a little. Dive down, exhale. Lengthen, draw forward. Left foot back. Inhale, lengthening. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Take your variation of vinyasa that works for you. So coming forward, maybe a little push up, upward dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky on your inhale. Take your time. Step through. Inhale, lengthen into your lunge. Forward fold to the top of your mat. Lengthen and melt. Bend the knees, rise all the way up. Bring the hands to your heart. Take a moment to breathe and feel. Beautiful. When you arrive here, take your time. We're going to find our way into a chair pose. So again, lift the toes up, bend the knees slightly, place the toes down onto the mat so you've got a nice stable surface, and reach the arms forward and up. So the chair I'm doing is pretty chill right now. I've got most of my weight in my heels. I have a neutral back, so I'm not tucking under, I'm not sticking my butt out. I want to feel my core working. And my arms are just at that place where my shoulders aren't scrunching up to my ears. So I just want to soften into that and kind of see where is that place where there's a little bit of work in the legs, but I'm not stressing, I'm not suffering. Okay. Press the heels down into the mat and imagine you're trying to stretch the mat apart to the right and to the left, and you should feel your glutes working. Okay, that's a good thing. Draw the belly in and up. Okay, inhale. And then as you exhale, stand up and either interlace your fingers around behind the back or grab your strap and hold on to it with the palms face forward. Hug the elbows together so they're a little bit bent. Press the fist down so your shoulders start to slide away from your ears and open your heart to the sky. Keep your knees unlocked, squeeze the bum, press your hips forward, and take a little bit of a back bend. Imagine you're trying to touch the ceiling with your sternum bone. Beautiful. You can stay right here or fold down, letting the fists rise over your head. If this is too stressful for your shoulders, just release your hands, that's no problem. And if you're quite flexible in the shoulders, avoid the tendency to kind of flop your shoulders over your head. Just keep pulling them up to the sky so that we keep that nice wide collarbone feeling. You can absolutely be still or begin to bend one knee at a time, just allowing your chest to roll a little from side to side to get that nice stretch side to side. Beautiful. Keep breathing. And then release the hands down the backs of the legs towards the earth, coming into a forward fold. And step your right foot behind you again. So we're going to come back to that lunge. And we're just going to add on to it. So you might want to pad your knee a bit. You can put a little block under it if you need to. Rise up into your low lunge. Okay, draw tailbone down, square the hips forward, and press into your back foot so that your hips come forward a little bit. Reach your right arm up. Bend the elbow. You can either hold onto the elbow with your left hand and just get that opening into the shoulder, or you can take your left hand around your back and either grab your shirt, the strap, or link your fingers around behind you. Okay, think of hugging the arm bones in towards the midline slightly, lifting the heart and maybe pressing your head a little bit into your arm. So we're getting this nice opening here. Breathe your ujjayi, think long spine. Yeah, so maybe I'll just show that from behind just in case that's helpful. So here, or we're grasping. Okay, one more big inhale, maybe leaning back a little bit. Exhale, gently ease off, release your hands. Straighten your front leg and put your hands down either on the floor or blocks. I'm going to untuck my back toes. My knee is happier if I do that. And I'm straightening my front leg. Little bend in the knee, foot is flexed. Okay. And then inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Draw the left hip back. And as you exhale, melt over the leg. Just take a few of those. So it doesn't have to be a big movement, but you want to think about long spine, like heart forward. And then as you exhale, just melting into any degree. Okay, you can certainly keep doing that, or we'll add on just a little bit for that calf. So you can take a halfway lift, look forward, keep that little bend in the knee, lean into your right hand on the block or the floor and take the peace fingers of your left hand around your big toe. Pull the toes back with your hand as you push the floor forward with your heel. Draw the left hip back. Breathe. So it's subtle, but you should probably feel your calf at this point. Okay, ease off, gently release, and we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. So you can bend into the knee, place the palm, step back, or just go from your hands and knees. Okay, you might want to take a little pause here in child's pose, or we can roll through vinyasa. And the vinyasa I'm going to offer is a strengthening vinyasa I've been working with lately. So totally up to you if you want to take this. If you're following me, we're in downward dog. Inhale, lift your heels, come forward to plank. As you exhale, look under your body and press back to downward dog. Inhale, heels lift, draw belly in, come forward. Look under your body, curl back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, curl back. That's it. Come forward to plank, bring down your knees. And we'll take a push-up. So widen your hands off your mat to the right and to the left. Okay, come into a nice long line with your spine so the core is still engaged. Pull the shoulders onto the back and imagine the work coming from the middle of the back. Okay, so we're going to inhale. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, rise. For 2. 1 more. And come to the belly. Nice job, you guys. Point the toes and take your favorite cobra. I'm going to take cactus arms and just press up. And just hold for a couple breaths. Nice. And then we're going to make our way back to actually our hands and our knees. And take a nice deep breath here. Okay, so I'm just going to turn my body around so that you can still see me. And we're just going to keep our right and left straight as best as we can. Okay, so I want you to extend your right leg back behind you and tuck the toes under. Spin the heel down like a warrior 2 foot and let the left foot angle off your mat. Okay, it can go almost all the way behind you, and then you're going to reach your right arm up. If your left hand is quite tired, you can do this on your fist. Okay. So this is a little gate pose. Think of drawing the tailbone down. Press the hips forward a little and turn your heart open towards the sky. Okay, you're absolutely welcome to stay here. If you want to work with a little bit more challenge, press that right foot into the mat and see if you can cross your left ankle over the right one. Squeeze the ankles together and lift your hips a little higher to the sky. Nice, Tessa. Good, you guys. Place that left knee back down. Okay, now float your right leg. Stay or bend the leg, hold on to the foot. Press the foot towards the bottom of the mat, tuck tailbone, open your heart, take a little quad stretch. Okay, and we're going to come from here all the way into a lunge. So I'm going to release my foot, step it forward. So this is my right foot. And then I'm going to spin onto the ball of the back foot. Just be very gentle with that back knee there. Okay, take extra steps if you need to. And then we're coming from here all the way up into warrior 2. So the back heel spins down, we reach up and open. And I'm going to turn around again just to be extra confusing. So the right leg is forward, okay? Grab your strap. If you have one. If you don't have one, I'll give you an alternative. So let's find our alignment first. So right toes are pointing straight forward, knees over the ankle. Tailbone draws down, okay? And then with your strap, take it up nice and high over your head. So you've got your arms wider than your shoulders and you're holding the strap up above your head. If you do not have a strap, interlace the fingers except for the first one, okay? It's going to be just a little different. Engage the belly so that you're supported and just be aware of that front knee staying over the ankle. We're going to lean back a little. So it's kind of like exalted warrior, but maybe subtler with the strap. Okay, so we're leaning back and I've just got a very gentle pull of that left hand, bottom hand, to open up the right shoulder. Yeah, I'm just going to come check in. Beautiful, everybody. Yeah. So Jen, see how it feels if you let your hands come slightly forward and then pull your shoulders down your back a bit more? Yeah, and then move back. Good, that looks great. See how that feels for you. Okay. Nice. Now, straighten your front leg, but keep a little bend in the knee. We're going to do the same thing with triangle, okay? So we're going to start to tip forward and just lean. So this is a little bit more of a core exercise because we kind of have to hold ourselves up. So don't pull too hard on the bottom hand. We're just going to try to find that place where you can feel your side waist is working to hold you up. Okay. Nice. Beautiful, everybody. Release your strap. Come into your triangle proper. So fingertips down, reach that left arm up. You can shorten your stance a bit if you need to. You may not. And maybe try a little circle for that top wrist. Okay, and then let's try Ardha Chandrasana. So look down, left hand can come onto the hip. reach forward. And if you have one of those blocks handy, it can help a lot to put your right hand on, and you're just tipping your triangle onto one foot. So it becomes a balancing pose. And you want to use that oblique, that side waist, to help support you. Foot is flexed. We're breathing. Yes, nice, everybody. Super active, extended leg. And if you're pretty comfortable here and you want to try it, you could bend your back leg and hold on to the foot, just adding that little quadricep here. Same one that we did on our knee before. And if that's like, what? She's crazy. Don't worry about it. Nice, you guys. Really good balance, everybody. Awesome, Tessa. Inhale. Gently release your foot, square your hips to the earth, forward fold, come on down. Nice job, everybody. Halfway lift. Exhale at your mouth. Take a moment. I find after Ardha Chandrasana, I really like bending one knee at a time. Okay. And I also like bending this is my left knee here that's bent. I can reach my right arm up to the sky and I just get a nice little twist and opening for the outer hip. And then I'll do that on the other side. Just for a breath or so. And if that's feeling good, if it's working for you, why not one more each side? Beautiful. And then come on down, lengthen halfway, and melt. Okay, grab your strap, rise up. And we're going to take that same shape here. We're going to do it a little differently, but we've got the strap nice and wide. Up over the head, palms face forward for now. This might need to adjust, okay? So we're going to inhale, draw the strap back, and you actually want to draw it wide enough that you can actually feel your chest opening a bit there. So my hands are coming down. And then inhale up through center, and exhale, bring the arms forward. Yeah. Inhaling up, exhale behind you. So widen the hands enough that you can actually get the arms behind you. Keep the shoulders drawing down away from the ears. Try not to scrunch. I know depending on the shoulders, sometimes the head gets in the way. A little bit awkward there. Okay. Beautiful. And then next time the strap is behind you, keep it there. Find that spot where you feel a bit of opening. Try to draw the shoulders down the back even more. And then there's a little subtle movement here that you can do with your hands where you're just flexing the wrists a little bit forward to get your forearms in there too. Okay, so let's take one more deep breath. And then just release. Place the strap down. Take a moment to feel your shoulders. You might want to be still. You might want to give them a little circle. Reach the arms up again. Inhale. Exhale, dive. Lengthen. And step your left foot back. So we're taking that low lunge. So feel free to pat it if you need to. You can also just double fold your mat. That's a nice trick if you don't have a prop. And then rising up. Hips square. Pressing the hips forward. Knee stays over the ankle. And then we're bending the left elbow. So this might be plenty. Okay, feel free to stay here holding the elbow with the right hand, just stretching that tricep. If you want to add, we've got that cow face. So the right arm comes open, thumb turns down, and we're internally rotating the arm to see if we can link the hands. Usually the two sides are different. This one's a bit harder for me. So you can hold the strap or your clothes, or just hold the elbow because you're really getting a lot of the benefit right there. Think of drawing the belly button back, ribs in, lengthen. Press the head a little bit into the hand. Inhale, and then gently release the hands. Bring them down onto the blocks or the floor. Straighten out your front leg. You can untuck your back toes if you want. And flex that front foot. Lengthen the heart, draw right hip back. Exhale, melt. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And just be in your energy flow. Follow your breath. So we're not so concerned about what these poses look like. We do care about how they feel. It's not so much that you should be feeling it in a particular way because everyone's body is different. But the practice that we're looking for is, can I pay enough attention that I start to learn the signals of yes and no from my body? And notice if I make a small change, what happens? Okay, so you're welcome to stay here, or we'll add this little extra juice for the calf here. So left hand can come down onto the block or the floor. Peace fingers of the right hand around the big toe. Bend the knee a bit more. And then flex the foot back using your hand to help you. And then push the heel forward like you're trying to stretch the mat forward in front of you. And draw the right hip even a little bit more back. Really push into your fingers with your big toe. Nice. Inhale. And then gently release. And make your way back to downward dog. Okay, and let's take vinyasa here, nice and simple. Come forward to plank. Little push up or lower all the way down. Pull through to your back bend. Return to your downward dog. And then we're going to come to the belly. So you can do that with, again, your knees or come through plank, however works for you. You just come all the way down to your belly. Yeah, okay. Bend your left leg. Reach back with your left hand and hold your foot. Okay, hug the inner thighs together a little bit. Push the foot into the hand as you resist with the hand. Try to pin your pubic bone down into the mat and squeeze your bum and really push the top of the right foot into the mat as well. So there's hopefully quite a juicy quad stretch there. And this one I find is accessible for a lot of people. If you're not on your belly today, if you're pregnant or just don't want to be on your belly, you can do this laying on your side. But I love this one in the belly. I find it's really effective. Okay, and then gently release that left foot and we'll switch. So bend the right leg, hold on to it with the right hand. Little bit of a hug of the inner thighs, push foot into hand, hand into foot. Squeeze the bum, press the pubic bone down. Nice straight left leg. Breathe. Awesome, we'll gently release that and make our way back to our hands and our knees. Okay, so let's stay on hands and the knees for a moment just before we move forward. So feel free to be on your fists if your wrists are a bit sensitive, or sometimes actually putting your hands up on blocks, it just takes some of the weight off the wrists. So feel free to do that for this next little exercise. I'm gonna bring the knees a bit closer together. Toes can be pointed or not. Draw belly in, okay? And then next time you inhale, take your left knee open to the left. And as you exhale, put it down. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. Open, and close. So we're just working that outer hip. Try not to move anything else. One more like this. Okay, and then we'll add a circle. So bringing the knee in, open, and back. In, open, and back. Just one more. Awesome. And then we can give the leg a little shake, and let's just do that on the other side. So right leg opens and close. Nice strong core. Nothing else is happening, ideally, except the hip opening to the side. Keep the shoulders pulling down the back, looking slightly forward. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. One more like that. And then we add our circle. So the knee comes in, but we're not rounding the spine. Leg goes open and back. And then in. So that's exhale as the knee comes in. And then as we open the knee, we inhale. And just 3 of those. Beautiful. Okay, let's take a moment. You can take child's pose or sit back on your heels. Make soft fists with your hands and circle. And then circle the other direction. Okay, awesome. We'll need the wrists a little longer today. We'll give them some love. Okay, so give that a little shake. Return to your hands and your knees. This is our last little standing sequence. We'll move on to some other stuff. Okay, so left leg extends back, left leg, plant the toes. Spin the heel down and widen your right foot open to the right. So the foot is off your mat. You might need to step your hand a little forward. You can absolutely use your fist and reach the left arm up. Draw the tailbone down, twisting the heart gently open to the sky. Nice firm left leg. Okay, if you're feeling like you've got some energy today, you want to work on it, push the sole of the left foot down and push the right hand away from you as well. And then see if you can cross your right ankle over your left, squeeze the ankles together and lift your hips a bit more to the sky. Nice. And then place the right knee back down and float the left foot. I'm on my fist here. You can bend the leg and get that quad again. Shoulder onto the back, tailbone drawing under. It's not that we need a huge back bend here. For me right now, the intention is really just to lengthen this quadricep and psoas area. Beautiful. Okay, inhale, and then we're going to gently release the foot, and we're going to make our way into a lunge from here. So just be aware of that bottom knee. Okay, you might need a few steps to come forward. So we're in a lunge with our left foot forward, and then we're going to pick up the back knee, spin the heel down, and we're in warrior 2. You might want to grab your strap on the way up, and I'm just going to turn around so that you can still see me. So we're in warrior 2 with the left leg forward. Knees over the ankle, back leg is nice and firm. Tailbone is drawing down, and we just want to make sure we can actually see the inner edge of the left foot on the inside of the knee. And then take that nice wide strap up to the sky, palms facing forward. And for me, really the drawing up of the pubic bone and in of the ribs is really important for the integrity of this shape. We're going to lean back a little. Try to keep the shoulders softening down the back. And it doesn't have to be like the most intense stretch you've ever done, okay? Just breathing into that little bit of opening is perfect. Nice deep breaths, clearing the lungs. Keep pressing the left knee back so it stays over the ankle. Awesome, and then straighten the front leg, but keep a little bit of a bend in the knee, and we're coming into a floating triangle. So you might not go that low, that's okay. Just come to the place where you feel like, okay, I'm working a bit to hold myself up here. And you can pull the strap apart a little, it might help you with balance, but we're not necessarily trying to really overstretch here. We're just working with activating those core muscles that help us to balance. Beautiful. And then let's gently release the strap and just come into a little bit more of a classic triangle. So you might be exactly in that same spot, okay? You might come down slightly lower, but you just don't want to put a ton of weight on your hand. And we're opening the heart to the sky. Rolling the left outer hip back so the hips are just slightly turned down. Nice, everybody. And we can stay here or take Ardha Chandrasana. So the hand can come onto the hip. You can bend your front leg. Do use your block if it's handy. It's especially handy if you have shorter arms. So we're just going to tip that triangle onto one foot. It's essentially the same pose, just different gravity. You want a really firm back leg. The toes are pointed to the side, but the outer hip is rolling back. So just like triangle, there's a very slight tilt down of the pelvis. I find it helpful to keep looking down. Otherwise, I almost always fall over. If you want, you can hold your foot and add the Chapasana variation to Ardha Chandrasana. Drinking sugarcane in the moonlight pose is my favorite translation there. Nice, Jane. Beautiful, everybody. Let's gently square the hips, release the foot if you've got it, and come on down. Nice work, everyone. Let's take a halfway lift, then flutter the lips. Okay, and let's try that little opening for the outer hips here as well. So you can have your hands on the ground, on blocks, or you can rest elbows on knees if you want. Straighten your right leg and reach your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, switch. Exhale, center. One more time each side. Beautiful, you guys. Back to your center. Halfway lift, make your way back to downward dog, and you're welcome to take one last vinyasa of any variation if you wish. Okay, otherwise come to your belly. One version of vinyasa is cat and cow. And you can mix and match. Okay, from your belly, flip onto your back, please. Take a moment to relax your shoulders. And let's actually do a little wrist release here as well. So reach your arms up to the sky. Spread the fingers nice and wide, shoulders just pretty relaxed. Make little fists with your hands and turn the knuckles down so the backs of your wrists are pointing up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, spread the fingers. You can flex them back a little if you want. And then exhale and curl the fist down. Inhale, open, spread the fingers wide. And curl. One more. And curl. And let's hold that curl for a moment. And then release the hands down by your sides and take a moment to rest. So I'd like to move into a little back bend sequence. We've been preparing for this in terms of shoulders and quads, so we'll kind of see how it feels. Okay, and just take it to where it feels right for you. If something feels like too much, just back off, okay? So bridge, feet on the ground. I personally like outer hips distance apart. Classically, it's sit bone distance, but I don't know. I like it here. Feet are pointing forward and start with a little robot shape with your arms. So elbows on the ground, fingertips point up to the sky. Push the elbows down and apart to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Engage the core, but I don't need you to curl up, okay? You can keep a neutral spine and just press into the heels and lift up your bum. Now, lengthen your arms and take a hold of the outer edges of your mat and pull the outer edges of your mat apart as you push the floor forward with your feet. You can snuggle your shoulders under a little bit more and breathe. Hug the inner thighs together a bit so the knees stay over the ankles. And gently come down again. I don't need you to curl the spine here, and just relax. So you do often hear about curling the spine up and down for yoga bridges, but I find if we over curl, we can kind of lose the integrity of the back bend. You really just want a neutral spine. You do want your core engaging, but that doesn't mean crunching or shortening the front. It means gathering everything into the midline so that it can lengthen. Okay. So let's come up again. I'll give you a different variation. If you liked that one, feel free to use that one. So adjust your feet, knees stay pointed up to the sky. Start with your robot arms, lift up your bum. Again, just neutral spine there. Core is engaged for sure. And hug the inner thighs, push the floor away. This time you can interlace your fingers under you, or you could grab your strap. Some people really like this with the strap, palms face up. And then pull your hands apart a little bit as you hug the knees together and push the floor away. Use your butt. Inner thighs are working too. Okay. And gently release. Again, I'm just taking that neutral spine down. And rest. So resist the urge to hug your knees in. You want to keep things open as you're doing a back bend sequence so you're not kind of closing the door you're trying to open. And we're just going to do one more back bend. Okay, nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. Okay. So last one, option to take wheel or to prep for wheel. So you're laying on the back. Knees are where we've been talking about. This time, hands come beside your ears. And that might be what you're practicing today. And that's fine. So just notice how that feels. Ideally, you want to get all of the fingers pads down and the heel of the hand as well. And you want to kind of be able to see your elbows in your peripheral vision. So you don't want them kind of splaying out to the sides. You want your whole hands on the ground. Okay, engage belly, but we're not tucking the tailbone overly. Press the feet into the mat, lift up the bum. A little secret with coming up is that you actually want to lower your hips a little and then push up onto the crown of your head. We pause, widen the hands. I usually widen my feet too, hug the elbows, and then we can work towards straightening the arms and then get that nice back bend from there. If it feels unsafe, just come back down. I didn't do so many wheels in my pregnancy, and it's not so much my shoulders and back as my wrists. And a lot of people find that can be a bit of an intense one on the wrists. So that's something that we can get used to over time as the wrist strengthen or re-strengthen. Okay. And if you haven't already, just gently coming down, tuck the chin in if you're coming out of wheel. And now let's take the soles of the feet together, knees open wide. Arms up over your head or open to the sides, and let's just take those little fist curls. So just making a little fist and curling the knuckles down toward the forearm. And then inhale and open. So my arms are over my head and I'm just opening the fingernails onto the ground. And then curling the fist, drawing in. And then opening and pressing the fingernails into the floor. And that pressing, the opening part, is a big part of releasing the wrist because it's strengthening the little muscles that support the wrist. Okay, softening the belly, softening the core. Take one more curl of the fist, and if you want to circle this time, feel free. And I've now just got my arms up to the sky and I'm circling them because there's just a little more space for me to do that here. And it feels good. Yeah. It can also feel really nice just to squeeze the wrists with the other hand. Little pulses. Okay, and finally, let's hug the knees in towards the chest. and rock a little from side to side, just soothing and massaging that lower back. And we'll continue to release the lower back as we cool down. Okay. And we'll take a twist. So let's just do simple. Feet to the floor, shift the hips to the left, pick up the knees and drop them to the right. If you need a prop between the knees, that's great. You want to make sure you have a little natural curve in your lower back. And opening the left arm to the left. Okay, so pretty simple. There are a couple of little tweaks that I find quite nice. One is that I'm just gently trying to roll my top hip, that's my left hip, down away from my body. So I just have a nice long left side, left shoulder is long, and I quite like rocking my head a little from side to side here as well. Still breathing, but as we cool down, the ujjayi can change. So it doesn't have to be quite so intense, it can soften, but we want to stay connected to the flow of the breath and continue to move with that dynamic. Beautiful. Okay, let's come to the second side. So gauge the belly. I like to bring in usually one knee and then the other. And then feet to the floor, shifting the hips to the right, pick up the knees, drop them to the left. Why do we do that? Because we want that natural curve in the lower back. If the back is rounded in a twist, it's not ideal. And it usually just doesn't feel very good. So we want that nice natural curve. And then again, I'm kind of adding on to that. So the tendency here is to kind of collapse the right side. So if I just, it's not like a really intense work or anything, but I'm just pressing the hip slightly forward and away. So I have a little bit of a longer right side. And sometimes I like to do that by pressing with my left hand, sometimes just with my muscles. And again, a little rock side to side with the head might feel good. Twists are so good for addressing imbalances along the spine. And they're known to be quite calming in this plane anyway. Supine twists tend to be quite calming. There are other twists that are quite energizing, but this one definitely has a bit of a calmer energy. Nice deep breaths, again, soft breaths. You can sigh out your mouth if you want. Beautiful. And then we'll come through center. So gentle engagement through the belly. You can bring in one knee and then the other. And again, it might feel good to rock a little from side to side. Okay, so we're going to release the lower back further with a hip opening pose. So I'm just going to give you an option here. So we'll take pigeon. Pigeon's not for everybody. If you prefer thread the needle, you can do it here. This is a little gentler in terms of the knees. So you can take your right ankle onto your left thigh and gather in. So that's thread the needle if you need it. Okay, otherwise we'll try pigeon. I'm going to go up from seated because I'm kind of done with downward dogs for today for myself. But if you want to come in through downward dog, that's a popular way to come in. So I'm sitting near the top of my mat and I'm just going to lean to the right and swing the left leg back. Okay. This is a variation with the back knee bent that some people really like as well, but I'm going to try to straighten the leg and get the hip square. And then I just want to prop something underneath my elevated hip. So I've got a little block there. Bolster works really well too. You can come up to fingertips, rolling the shoulders onto the back, lifting the heart. And that's its own variation. That might be where you want to stay. You can also fold down. So hopefully we're feeling some opening in the outer hip. You might feel a bit in the inner thigh too. But this should be painless in the knee. Okay, feel free to take thread the needle if this one is bothering your knees. And again, nice deep breaths. Lower back loves hip stretches. Beautiful. Okay, when you're ready, gently press yourself back up. And I like to sit over onto that right hip and just swing that left leg around to the front. Feet wide, taking your windshield wipers. If you like to use downward dog as a transition, you can definitely do that. Extend the right leg up to the sky and shake it out. A little more active. And I'm a little more interested in cooling down now. So leaning left, swinging the right leg around to the back, or stepping the left foot forward. Try to straighten that back leg. Hips will elevate unless you're extremely flexible in the hips. So you'll probably want to put a prop under there, and almost anything will work. Drawing tailbone down, lengthening, and this is a little more of a psoas stretch, and you do get some outer hip opening here as well. So if this is the variation that's serving you, stay as long as you need. Okay, otherwise folding down, and that's gonna just bring the stretch a bit more into the left hip itself. And again, nice deep, long breaths. It doesn't have to be the, really specific ujjayi that we sometimes talk about in a flow practice, but you want to stay connected to the breath and how the energy is changing. Okay. Last breath. And then we'll gently make our way back up. We can take that prop out. Lean left, bring the back leg to the front. And washing side to side. So I'd like to take a last shape just before Shavasana. If you have something in mind that's symmetrical and calming for you, feel free to take that one. Okay, otherwise we're just going to take Happy Baby, nice and simple. So you can lay down on your back, keep the knees wide, soles of the feet to the sky. And I find that this is just really nice after pigeon and nice after all the back bends as well. So you can rock a little from side to side. You can straighten one leg at a time, or you can just be still. I'm holding my ankles. You could also hold your big toes or the inner or outer edges of the feet. This is really just however feels good for you. And then when you're ready, let's release that. You can extend the legs and give them a shake. And let's find Shavasana. So Shavasana is the most comfortable pose that you could be in. So for most of us, it's laying on the ground. A lot of people really like a bolster underneath the knees, partly because it eases the psoas and it can just help the nervous system relax a bit. But you could also lay on your side or on your belly, or really however you want to be is just fine. Okay, however you're comfortable. And then when you find that place, take a nice deep breath. Settling in and feeling that energy flowing through your body without any effort on your part. Noticing if it feels like tingling or light or water flowing. Just enjoy that sensation. Nothing to do here but rest. Take a moment to notice how you feel, the effects of your practice. Give your fingers and toes a little wiggle. Rock your head. And take a stretch, reaching the arms up, legs out long. And then bend your knees and curl over to one side. And then in your own time, adjust yourself up to a seat. You can take hands at heart or over top. And take a moment to bow your mind to your hands, just honoring and acknowledging the work that it took for you to show up to your practice. Honoring and acknowledging the long and complex lineage of teachers that is with us when we practice our yoga. Honoring and acknowledging the land that we practice on, wherever that may be in the world. And honoring each other. Thank you for sharing your practice.